stand and raise your hand, I'll get you sworn in. Do you swear or affirm the information you're going to provide today is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
All right, thank you. Please be seated and tell us your name.
Kristin Nahass.
Your witness.
And ma'am, please spell your name for us, please.
First and last?
Yes, please.
Kristin
All right, thank you. And where do you live?
I live at 3759 Newcastle Drive in Rochester.
Okay, and how long have you lived in that subdivision?
11
11 years?
years.
Okay. Do you remember back in October 11th of 24, did you have to talk to the police that day?
I did.
Okay. And do you recall about what time of the day did you have to speak to the police?
Probably around 12:15.
Okay. And what did you talk to the police about?
I told them what I had seen that morning when I had been out for a walk.
Okay. And you went out for a walk that day?
I did.
Okay. And what time did you leave the house to go for a walk?
I left at 11:15 to walk my dogs around the block. Sunny. It was a beautiful day this week.
Okay. So you left your house about 11:15 to walk the dogs?
I did.
Okay. And while you were out walking your dogs, did you observe anything that caught your attention?
Yes. The first thing was it was very busy.
It was, sorry.
Busy.
Okay.
Immediately, the houses, down from me had a lot of action. The dogs were kind of excited about work crews, a lot of trucks, a window crew at another house 3 doors down. So they had the table saw out in the driveway and people working. It was, exciting for them. They were distracted.
The dogs were distracted.
Yes. But almost immediately, I heard a squeaking noise, like a fan belt, of a vehicle that was going so painfully slow. It was kind of annoying, but everything going on, it was maybe 5 miles an hour. And it was, as it passed me, the pickup truck carried on down the street.
Okay, and when you saw this truck, what street were you on in your subdivision?
I was on Newcastle. I was only 2 doors down from my house.
Okay, so you had just started your walk, and
Just started the walk.
and a lot of stuff is going on, but you see a truck.
I heard it first.
You heard the truck first. What type of truck was that?
It was a pickup truck, a white pickup truck.
All right, anything about that truck that caught your attention besides it going slow and the noise?
Honestly, the noise was obnoxious almost.
Okay, and so when you heard this noise, that truck caught your attention, and what did you do next?
It rolled on, so nothing. I carried on with my walk. Continued maybe another couple houses down. Stopped to let the dogs take a sniff, and then I could hear it coming back up the street, the other direction, toward me.
Okay, so I want to just orientate a little bit. Are you familiar with the Murray's house?
I am.
And do you know where they live?
I do.
Okay, and were you friendly with them?
I was.
Okay, so in relation to where you live and to where the Murray's house is, can you describe to us where that is?
3 doors down on the opposite side of the street from my house.
Okay, so when you left with your dogs that morning to walk, were you heading in that house's direction?
I was headed toward the Murray's house.
Okay, and so you testified that pretty quickly you heard this truck.
I did.
Okay, and when you saw this truck, was it coming from behind you or towards you down the street?
As I left my house to start the walk, the truck came from behind me and passed me down toward the street. It passed me and it passed the Murray's house and it disappeared around the bend.
Okay, and so while you're walking, that truck goes past you and the Murray's house at that time?
It did.
Okay, and about how long after you saw the truck, heard that noise, does that truck come back around?
Within a minute.
Okay, and when that truck comes back around, do you hear it first or do you see it first?
I heard it.
Okay.
And I looked up then to see it.
Okay, and when you looked up to see that truck come back around again, what did you observe, if anything, of that truck at that time?
The first response was annoyance. Basically, this as slow as you could be, almost advertising, hey, I'm casing your street. It felt that way. It would feel that way to most people.
So when you observed that truck, were you concerned at that time, or was
Yes.
it was okay?
I was.
Did you see any markings on this truck?
I did look up to confront the driver, and initially looked at the face. The window was down, and was prepared to just kind of hold my hand up and say, "How can I help you?"
Okay.
That's-
Did you do that?
I looked up and I looked at the driver, and at the same time I saw the DTE decal on the side of the truck. It diffused me completely.
So when you saw it may have been utility company, you were no longer concerned?
Yes, occurred to me that, oh, they're just looking to do service somewhere.
Okay. And at that time, you said you were going to stop and confront the driver. Did you observe anything about that driver at that time?
At that time, not necessarily.
And so after easing your concerns about what you observed about this truck, what did you do next?
I carried on around the block, fairly short block. I was back to my house within 12 minutes, probably, and I went home with the dogs.
Do you recall about 11:15 you left, and it was about a 12-minute walk, you'd say?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you recall how many people were in the truck?
Yes, there were 2 men in the truck.
Okay, 2 men in the truck.
There were.
Okay. And when you see this truck the second time, does it continue driving at the same slow pace, or does it stop, or what does it do?
At the moment that, as I mentioned, that I felt like I was going to intervene, and I saw that they were actually pulling up to the curb, I was taking a picture of my dogs to send my daughter at school. So they're on a leash, I have my phone out, and I'm taking a picture. And in that picture and at that moment, I can see my dogs looking over my shoulder at them as they're pulled up to the curb and actually getting out of the car. I could hear them.
Do you recall what curb they pull up to? Do they pull up to Murray's house, or is it another neighbor?
I didn't actually turn around and visually see, but sensing that they were directly behind me, it would have been the neighbor just to the southeast of the Murray's house, the tall residence.
Do you ever see them exit the truck?
I didn't see them, but I heard them get out, feet at the ground, doors shut, start to get things out of the bed of the truck.
Okay. And is that as you're walking around the block at that
I was
time?
standing, the dogs were sniffing.
Okay.
I hadn't quite walked away yet, and I could hear them start to, what I assume was get in their ear.
Excuse me, I didn't hear the last thing you just said.
That they started to, I heard them exit the truck, I heard them shut it and get into the back bed of the truck and access gear, in my mind, buckets, maybe 5-gallon bucket.
But you don't recall anything they're wearing or any description of those
In
people in
that
the truck?
moment, no. But
When you say in the moment,
it didn't necessarily register to me in the moment what they were wearing, which became interesting to me after the fact.
okay. So you go back home, and is there some point during the day that the police arrived to the Murray's house?
Yeah, I feel like shortly thereafter, the dogs were new to me, so we spent a lot of time in the yard, and there was immediately action in the street. I feel like by maybe noon, I'm just using my memory, but the neighbors were out. It was obvious that something serious was happening, and I would guess it was probably a half hour to 40 minutes.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, I think it was about a half hour later, so I estimate noon.
Okay, and when you see this commotion, the police outside, do you go over to that residence to
Yes.
speak to them? Okay, and at that time, do you speak to the police and tell them what you observed that day?
Within the course of a few minutes, one of the neighbors had said they think there was some.
Well,
noise.
objection to any hearsay about whatever a neighbor said.
We're not out for the truth of the matter, sir, so it wouldn't be hearsay.
It's a
I just-
prompt.
One second.
If there's an objection, you have to wait.
Well,
Well, I don't know if somebody said something, why isn't it for the truth of the matter, sir?
For the effect on what I heard, I don't know what she's about to say. I don't know what this neighbor said. It all depends on how that evidence is being offered.
Then I would suggest that you heard what the neighbor said. What did you do next, rather than hearing from the neighbor?
That's fine.
It's good.
Thank you.
Re-ask the question.
Yeah, you go down to where the police are. Is that a yes?
Yes.
Yeah, everything's recorded. So we have
I'm
to say
sorry, yes.
it's all right. So you go down there and you tell the police. You hear something from the neighbor and you go down to the police. Is that correct?
Immediately prompted me to engage with an officer.
Okay. And when you speak to this neighbor, does it jog any sort of memories from that morning?
Viscerally, yes.
Pardon me?
Viscerally.
Okay. What memory did that jog?
It occurred to me, it was a short sleeve weather day. It wasn't, it was warm. And immediately realized that the driver of the vehicle, I believe, was wearing a balaclava, the style where the whole face is cut out, and a hoodie with the hood up. And that the passenger in the vehicle, who was turning his body towards the passenger window, was also wearing a hooded. On reflection, I surmise it could have been a Tyvek suit for both the driver and the passenger, which immediately I realized that's very out of sorts for this hot weather type of day, especially the balaclava.
So it wasn't until after you saw the commotion, talking to neighbors, that this sparked something in your mind,
Oh, yeah.
and you told the police what you observed that day. Right. I have no further questions. Thank you.
Cross-examination.
Thank you, Ms. Nahas, my name is Michael McCarthy. I represent one of the defendants in this case, Joshua Zuazo. I have a few questions to ask you here this morning regarding your testimony, and if I don't make myself clear, please tell me that, and I'll rephrase the question, okay? Now, you engaged with the officers when you saw that there was commotion down in front of the Murray house and police cars were present, correct?
I would say that I was present. I didn't engage with anyone at that time. I didn't speak to an officer.
Okay, an officer came to your home at some point and spoke with you, correct? And
At
you
some
were
point,
on
yes.
you were on the front porch. I mean, and this was in daylight, and it was sometime in the early afternoon of Friday, October 11th, correct?
Yes.
And you told them, the officer that you spoke with, what it is that you saw that day, right? And would that name Officer Bowie ring a bell with you? Okay, so you spoke with Officer Bowie, and then you also told Officer Bowie that you would give him a written statement, correct?
I did.
All right, and then you've had an opportunity to see that written statement before you assume the witness stand here this morning?
I did.
Okay, and you've read over it. I know that you, in your statement, you identified the driver having this balaclava mask, and also that he was a man with an olive complexion and little to no facial hair to note. Direct quote from you.
Yeah.
Then, and you said that he had a light-colored, hooded, possibly Tyvek material with a Alte Viz orange balaclava with the entire face exposed. Is
Correct.
that's what you wrote?
I believe.
And then what you also told the officers, and I believe you said here during your direct testimony, is that you didn't see either one of the two people that you say were in this vehicle actually exit. You heard it, but you were moving on with your dog walk, correct?
Correct.
And this was not anything of interest to you. You were more concerned with taking a good picture of the dogs and sending it on to your sister and continuing with the walk, correct? Is that a yes? Okay. Now, you said that in your statement, the passenger, or his passenger, was a male, but the only observation, I think he may be taller and thinner than the driver. Remember that?
I do.
Okay. You didn't say anything in your written statement when this was all fresh in your mind about what it was that the second man in the vehicle was driving.
Wearing?
Wearing. Well, that's what I meant to say.
Oh, I'm not. I don't recall that I didn't write what he was wearing.
Well, may I approach, Your Honor? I'm going to show you a document. Will you please tell me whether you recognize it? And then, if you do, I'll have further questions for you. Do you recognize that document?
I do, yep.
And is that, in fact, a copy of the statement you wrote out for Officer Bowie on October 11th of last year? All right. Now, what I'd like you to do is take a look at that and see whether or not you gave a description of the clothing the second man was wearing in your statement.
I didn't.
You did not. Okay. So you would agree, today is the first day of October, that nearly a year has passed.
Right.
All right. When is it that you came to remember that the second man was wearing some sort of orange or yellow clothing?
It wasn't orange or yellow. It was light in color.
Light in color. So you don't know
It could
what
have been
color.
gray or white.
Okay. So you don't know what it was, but this other person was wearing some sort of a covering. Is that correct?
Correct.
So you would, and that's something, when did you remember that?
Well, honestly, it was probably promptly after this, like within, it was something that maybe I should have written down in my statement, but I did not.
Okay. And did you ever call Officer Bowie or anyone at the Oakland County Sheriff's Department to tell them, yeah, I remembered something else?
I didn't.
Okay. And you knew what this was all about by the time you talked with Officer Bowie. You knew
By
what had
then I
happened,
knew.
at least that Mr. Murray was dead, correct?
Yeah,
And so this was serious.
of course.
And you had information to provide, but would it be fair to say that the first time you've provided that information about what the second man was wearing is this morning when you took the witness stand?
Formally.
Well, I mean, formally you're under oath, but what I'm asking is, it's the first time you've shared that with anybody in law enforcement, the prosecutor's office, any detective was in open court here this morning, correct?
I can't honestly answer that because I was at the pretrial day back in maybe November last year.
December the 17th?
I'm not sure what the date was. It was one of the pretrial dates I was subpoenaed for. And there was discussion about that date. I may or may not have mentioned it, but I can't honestly say it was never mentioned.
Okay. No one asked you to write anything more,
Nothing
correct?
more, right. This
Okay.
was within minutes
Okay.
of the incident.
So just, and I get that, and things can happen. Your memory, you start thinking about what all you saw, and you want to add something to it, but you didn't take. And they gave you, the officers did give you some identification information about how to get in touch with them,
yeah.
right? And so you could have done that, but you did not. You went somewhere to court, either in November or December of last year. You discussed the case a little bit further. You may have told it to someone that day, but you're not positive, correct? Because there's no recording, and you were not called as a witness that
That's
day.
correct.
Okay. But to summarize, what it is that you actually did see was this truck being driven by a man in a balaclava mask who you say has olive skin and little or no facial hair, correct?
Correct.
And the passenger was wearing some sort of light-colored clothing, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And he was maybe taller than the driver
Yes.
and thinner, you said, in your statement.
Yes.
Okay. This is all you taken a glance, correct?
Well, in addition, the passenger his body was turned away, so from the orientation of someone from their side view, you
You couldn't see.
appeared to be thinner.
Okay. You couldn't see very much, correct?
There are limitations to what I could see. Correct.
Thank you. May I approach? I have no further questions. I'll just retrieve that document.
Sure.
Thank you.
Our cross-exam, Hernandez. Thank you.
Good morning, ma'am. I just have a few more questions for you, okay? I'll try not to ask the same questions that have already been asked. As you described the person that you said was in the driver's seat, I know we've gone over, you said olive complexion, little to no facial hair to note, correct?
Correct.
You also then described a high-vis orange balaclava mask. What does high-vis orange mean to you, just so that the jury is clear?
It's like a safety orange. Maybe that would be like a hunter's jacket. That is high vis, meaning high visibility.
Okay, and that is the mask or the hood that this person you saw had on, correct?
Correct.
I have nothing further.
Oh, Annie, redirect.
Briefly, Your Honor. Ms. Nahas, there is some question in the cross-examination about the height difference. You never saw them step out of the car and stand next to each other?
I didn't. This was just from the belt line of the window, like the height of their head, essentially.
Okay. Inside the...
Inside the cab of the pickup.
Okay, thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You may step down.
Your Honor, may this witness be excused?
Any objection?
I have no objection to
No
that.
objection, Your Honor. You're excused.